All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. Gonna be WCW Super Brawl 3. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's get into it. We got a couple of notes prior to this. We had a couple of replacements in these matches. I'll get to them as I get to the matches. Uh, February 21st, 1993 in Asheville, North Carolina. A whole capacity crowd of 6,500. They're getting bigger. This was 1,500 bigger than the last one.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura were the commentators. Hosting the event was Eric Bischoff, who this is his inaugural pay-per-view as executive producer. Missy Hyatt and Johnny B. Bad, oh God, were also
Johnny B.
with him.
Bad.
Little Richard wannabe.
Looking like one of the village people, man. I
Oh
don't even
my
know I don't
God.
even know what he was doing hosting it. That was so stupid.
Was he joining up with the sailors or something?
I don't know.
I don't get the
He's
outfit.
a captain of a cruise ship or something. I don't know. It was weird. Like I don't.
The SS Minnow
Missy,
over there.
I understood Missy and Eric, but I didn't know what Johnny B. Bad was doing there.
I would have rathered him on the card, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Considering the card that we were given, he might have made it a little better.
Maybe.
So I don't know. Our opening bout for this one was Eric Watts and Marcus Bagwell versus the Heavenly Bodies. Heavenly Bodies, okay.
Yeah,
They're on the card, but wrong thing. Hollywood Blondes, sorry. Steve Austin and Brian Pillman. And I actually liked when they put them together.
Where did the Hollywood Blondes yet? Officially, they didn't have the. I don't know if they had the title, right? I'm not sure.
No, not yet.
He did the thing.
Yeah,
this guy, he did the Stone Cold did the camera,
thing.
but they didn't recognize them as the Hollywood Blondes, but they might as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's funny because when they put Austin in the tag team with Pillman at first, he's like, "No, I'm a singles wrestler. I don't want to do this garbage."
Yeah.
Then when they would decided, "Oh, we're going to break it up," he's like, "Wait a minute, I love Brian."
Yeah. Watts stunk up the joint, man. I felt bad. I kind of felt bad for him because it was like they pushed him into that spot because of who his father was. They pushed him into that spot. It's not his fault really, but he was just too green, you know.
Yeah, well, I'll get to his father in a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the match itself, Bagwell kind of carried the team because every time Watts got in the ring, they booed him, but then they kind of cheered him, but then they went back to booing him. The Hollywood Blondes, Austin and Pillman looked great,
and then Schiavone said something. So Schiavone tried to protect him too, because I think it's Ventura, obviously, because Ventura's on commentary.
Yeah.
Ventura said something about them booing him, and he's like, "Are you sure those are not woos or something like that?" Schiavone said something like that to try to protect the baby face.
But it didn't work.
But no.
So I mean, this was just about 16.5-minute match opening.
Too long, way too long for this stinker.
Yes, especially with Watts and Bagwell.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to put Bagwell into a tag team.
But Bagwell's still young too. At this point, Bagwell's still kind of green himself.
Yeah, he's just coming off Rookie of the Year.
Bagwell's the king of tag teams, man. Like
seriously,
it was him. I remember Watts, Scorpio,
American Males.
I think even Z-Man. I think he teams up with Z-Man at some point.
And then the Patriot. Yeah, he had like 4 or 5 tags.
Well, American Males was the Patriot, right?
No, that was Scotty.
No. It was Scotty Riggs. So who was the Patriot? Stars and Stripes, right?
Yes.
Was Stars and Stripes?
And let's not forget Vicious and Delicious.
Vicious and Delicious, the king of the tag teams.
And Totally Buffed was the last one with Luger.
Yeah, that was
oh
the
my
last
God.
One. Yeah.
They just insisted on making him a tag team wrestler.
Buff Daddy. I always like Bagwell's a single.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially when that Buff Daddy gimmick, until he got the WWE, and then it was garbage. So. But I mean, Bagwell actually had a bridge suplex. They had the match won. Of course, the referee's back is turned. Austin goes off the top rope, hits him. Pillman flips over, gets the victory, and the Hollywood Blondes get the victory. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be well on their way to the tag team titles. It's just a shame that Bischoff didn't run with them long enough because they were actually a legitimate tag team in a time where they don't have many. So following this match was actually interesting. Missy Hyatt, there was rumors. She told everybody that Ric Flair would be at the event. And it's funny because a few weeks ago, he's losing a career-ending match on Monday Night Raw. And, of course, here comes the limo with all the CIA agents around him. And she couldn't get a word in, but here came Ric Flair out of the limo. And so now he's back in WCW. And that was actually the biggest pop of the night, I think, because the fans, once they saw him, went nuts.
Right. Yeah,
this isn't the last time we're going to see him tonight, too.
This is the returning Ric Flair from WWF.
Yep. Just recently lost to Mr. Perfect in a loser leaves WWE career-ending match, whatever you want to call it. We all knew he was leaving. I mean, Vince was in the youth movement. he offered him a spot, but he said it would be mid-card. That's one rumor. I don't believe it. I just believe Vince wasn't going to re-sign him, and Flair decided to go back to WCW.
He was actually under contract until the end of the year. So Vince let him out of the contract early once he had that conversation with him. So I think it sounds legit that he was going with more of the youth, you know?
Oh, yeah. I just don't believe he wanted to keep Flair as a mid-carder. I think he told him, look, you can have
I think he go. It was basically him saying, oh, I don't really have anything for you, without saying I don't have anything for you.
Exactly, yeah. The true politician that Vince is.
Yeah.
So the next match was actually pretty good. I liked it, but it was another one that was too long and cut it too close. It was Too Cold Scorpio versus Chris Benoit. And I mean, this match had everything. It had the submission, the high flying, everything these two guys can give you in the ring. The problem is, on a 20-minute time limit, this went to the 1 second mark before Too Cold Scorpio got the victory. And I believe the 3 count came at the buzzer, but they called it. It was 19 minutes, 59 seconds. Scorpio got the victory after he rolled up Benoit. Figured, what the hell, let me give it a shot. Because, I mean, Benoit was kicking out of everything Scorpio was doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And vice versa. But this was actually a good match of 2 young wrestlers. This was Benoit's debut on pay-per-view. But we wouldn't see him again for a while. Bischoff really didn't use him that much for like another year, I believe. So now after this match, Eric Bischoff had interviewed Max Payne. Reason why, I don't understand this guy either. Ron Simmons
he did the national anthem, right?
He played it pretty good.
Was it a national anthem?
Yeah. And then he played a little something for Eric here on, what was it, Norma Jean?
It was Norma Jean.
Yeah.
Man Mountain Rock.
Yeah, the only time you ever see this guy, if you didn't watch Raw, was on that one time, the Lumberjack match pay-per-view, when they were interviewing him for the DiBiase buy you up, and that was it. That guy was there for half a cup of coffee. But Ron Simmons was supposed to be in the United States title match against Dustin Rhodes. Simmons was injured, so Max Payne is the replacement in that match. So Bischoff interviewed him as regards to it, and he sounded real confident that he was going to get this U.S. title off Rhodes. I don't know.
It reminded me of, looking back, kind of like Bray Wyatt almost. Like, did you get like a little bit like the long,
little
the dark
Waylon
hair,
Mercy with the
hair.
rock hair,
yeah,
rock and roll hair,
yeah.
Weirdo.
He I think the true story was that Simmons had fallen out with the Office. He had him and Watts didn't get along. I think he pulled a no-show prior to him dropping the title. He pulls a no-show on the night he was supposed to drop the title. Then he eventually does drop the title. So I think that's why they took him off the card.
The funny thing about Bill Watts is he was gone before this pay-per-view even happened.
Right before it was. I think it was like close. It was close to it. And then
right after he made a executive decision on another match that I'll get to here in a little bit. The next match on the card was the debut of the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. And of all the opponents you give him Wild Bill Irwin.
They just wanted to get him out there.
It's a squash match.
Yeah, pretty much.
5 minutes, 50 seconds. Bulldog gets the power slam victory. But what was funny about the Bulldog was they interviewed him after this match, and he didn't have his facts all together. He made the challenge to Big Van Vader for his title. Should he defend it that night successfully, Bulldog, the title wasn't on the line, buddy. But it's okay.
Because it was non-sanctioned.
Exactly. So there's no world title match. Bulldog, you could just challenge him. It don't matter win, lose or draw.
Then he said something like, I think he almost said WWF. I think he says World Wrestling Championship or something.
Yeah, he messed it up a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe he was the nerves. Who knows?
Yeah, it was probably nerves. This is his. He's not used to being there. It's happened. He's not the first. He's not the first guy to mess up something like that.
No, we'll get a guy later on in that year that'll mess up even more.
Yeah,
it'll be a Shockmaster. So the next match I actually liked, although it was one over the hill and one psychotic SOB. Cactus Jack versus Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in a falls count anywhere match.
Babyface Cactus Jack.
Yeah. I'm not so sure if I like this version or the other version in WCW.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, some people prefer him as this. I didn't mind one with the other.
It was a good hardcore match. I mean, they were outside. They were.
Well, Orndorff, he cut off Orndorff. Orndorff comes out, and then he just attacks him. He comes out with the shovel.
Oh my God! And that shovel will play a good part towards the end of the match. I mean, these guys just tore apart each other. 12-minute match. It's funny because it ends in the middle of the ring where you think a false count anywhere, they'd be out in the concession stands. Mm-hmm. He uses the shovel. It's funny because Orndorff is all dazed, and then all of a sudden can get those hands up for the shovel, and Cactus hits him with it, pins him, and gets the victory. So, but overall, I mean, it wasn't a bad match.
No,
it's just Orndorff is in the twilights of his career, and I honestly don't think Bischoff knows what to do with Cactus at this point.
No. Now
our next match, it was supposed to be, and they messed up when they commentated this match, Schiavone and Ventura. It was supposed to be the Rock and Roll Express versus the Wrecking Crew of Al Green and Mark Laurinaitis, another brother of Animal. Now, what happened here is they were replaced in an agreement by Bill Watts and Smoky Mountain Wrestling Commissioner Bob Armstrong on an earlier episode of Main Event. The Heavenly Bodies were the Smoky Mountain Tag Team Champions, so the titles were not on the line. And what's funny is Watts had quit prior to this. So he wasn't there for thank God he was gone, because I couldn't stand his rules. It just made it stupid. But
this was this incarnation of the Heavenly Bodies.
Dr. Tom Pritchard and Stan Lane with Bobby Eaton. Yeah. It's like you got the Midnight Express and the Heavenly Bodies together.
Yeah.
So it's the Rock and Roll Express versus Pritchard and Lane. Eaton was sent back to the back. He was barred from ringside. Of course, we'll see him in a little bit. The match, and what's funny is then in a few months we're going to see the Heavenly Bodies of Pritchard and Del Rey in WWE.
Gigolo.
Yeah, right? Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey and Dr. Tom. Every time he scratched his head, I swear I thought he had lice. I mean, what the hell are you doing, bro?
I don't know. I
couldn't get on board with this team. The Rock and Roll Express I liked. I thought they were a great tag team. Hell, they're still going to this day. And they finally realized, okay, Richard Morton's not going to work. Ricky Morton will. Let's put him back with his tag team partner. And so now we've got Rock and Roll Express back. And this match wasn't bad. They got their hands on Cornette, which is always good. Schiavone and Ventura, I think it was Schiavone that said that the Rock and Roll Express replaced the Wrecking Crew. It was the other way around. So they kind of had a little snafu there. But, I mean, unless you're really paying attention to them, you didn't catch it. Yeah. Unfortunately, but it was whatever. But Bobby Eaton comes down towards the end of the match, goes off the top rope. He misses his elbow drop. Gibson rolls over Pritchard and gets the victory. And now Pritchard and Lane have an issue with Eaton in this whole thing. This rendition of the Heavenly Bodies was literally a cup of coffee, because then obviously we'll get the other rendition. I just didn't understand Lane in there with Pritchard and Eaton coming down. That's like the Midnight Express. It didn't make any sense to me. But Rock and Roll Express did look good in this one. So the next match on the card was for the United States title. Dustin Rhodes defending it now against Max Payne.
The natural Rhodes.
And Rhodes looked pretty good, man.
Yeah, he did.
I've said this before on WCW cards. He held that title. He held the tag titles. I mean, the man should have gotten a world title shot at some point and never got it. And what's funny is he won this title because Ravishing Rick Rude had to relinquish the title. So they had a tournament for it. It came down to him and Steamboat in the finals, where Dustin beats him.
Yeah, Rude had the injury, but I think he was trying to collect. The rumor and innuendo is like he was trying to collect some insurance money from Lloyd's of London, and you had to be out for like at least 3 months in order to make a claim or something like that. Eventually,
which he was out for a good period of time.
Yeah,
till he came back. But the Rhodes for a Steamboat match, I thought could have been pay-per-view worthy. Instead, they had it on I don't know if it was a Clash of Champions or a Saturday night. But Rhodes beat Steamboat, so now he's in this match. Payne's doing all that talking, but he really didn't show up till like halfway through the match, and I thought the ending was stupid. Really, really stupid. Rhodes has him in an abdominal stretch. Max Payne just pulls the referee in to get him off of him. Referee calls and rings for the bell, and that's it. Rhodes wins by DQ. It's like, I don't think they had a game plan for this match.
Doesn't seem like it.
So far, Bischoff's not doing good. Their executive producer.
Yeah, let's just get out of here.
Exactly. Following this match is where Ric Flair came out, was interviewed by Shivani, and he sat ringside for the upcoming match.
People were really hyped up. He got a really good reaction from the crowd.
They're in North Carolina for one.
Yeah, I like how he said that. I like how he said that these guys are fighting for the belt that I never lost.
It's true.
But that was cool. Yeah, it was true.
And this was actually, I believe, the start of the two championships.
This is the NWA.
Before they call it the international or the world heavyweight, they whatever they want to call it. This is when they didn't acknowledge Rude as the champion, which is bull. Because in my mind, he is.
Yeah, later on, he doesn't get acknowledged.
Which is it's bull, but whatever. So Flair sitting ringside for the Great Muta defending the NWA Championship against Barry Windham, and this wasn't typical Great Muta. This was not the guy we saw a few years ago that was aggressive in the ring. I mean, Windham was just pillar to post, was just whooping him.
Yeah, I think because they wanted to put Windham over. That's why. I thought the match was good, though. I didn't think it was a bad match at all.
No, it wasn't a bad match. It was about 24-minute match, like typical world title time limit. And Muta misses the moonsault off the top rope. Again, this is like the third time he's missed it. Windham went ahead and got him a clothesline and a DDT, pinned him 1, 2, 3. Wyndham's the world champ. And all during the match, when they went out by the announce table, I thought one of them was going to have a thing with Flair. I thought he was going to get involved.
Right. He probably figured that was going to happen.
And I love how Ventura was like, I feel safe out here with all these security guys. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, he makes the comment that, you and I have always been in opposite places, and now we're finally in the same place. And, of course, Ventura's like, this is where all the action is and the best wrestling. I'm like, damn, Ventura, you're trying, but it ain't working. Even you can't say this with a straight face.
He's doing his job.
Yeah, he is. Mayor Ventura. I love how he says soon to be senator.
They meant, and then we all know he goes on to be governor.
Exactly.
So
this what's interesting at the end of this match that I liked was Flair came in, told the ref, I got this, and starts putting the strap on Windham. Windham turns around, and they're just staring each other down. Nothing happens.
Oh, yeah.
But Flair's telling him, I'm back. I'm in your head. I'm gunning for that. And Windham gets interviewed later on, and I like what he said. He goes, all titles. I'm coming for all titles.
But did they even, because I maybe I wasn't 100% paying attention. Did they mention anything about the Horsemen?
No.
They didn't, right?
Mm-mm.
It's a little weird.
No, because, at this point, the Horsemen really aren't there.
Yeah, no, but it's part of
they're doing other. I know. Eventually, I believe, as Flair's back, they do, but at this event, they didn't. So it was just straight up Ric Flair. I want the world title. I'm coming for it. So, and all during it, you can talk about it if you want, but throughout the entire pay-per-view, they're showing these weird vignettes of Sting and Vader.
Yeah. Well, they didn't show. I guess they didn't. I didn't see this live. I don't know if they gave the whole thing connected together on this pay-per-view, but I remember it was like a 5-minute mini movie of the White Castle. The White Castle of Fear, where Sting Jesus Christ. Vader gets Sting to meet up with him, and he gets on a helicopter
in a mountain somewhere.
Yeah, in a mountain somewhere. You hear Vader's voice, and then they go in. Sting goes into a cave, and it's like they're having a party, and there's a bunch of women and food, and there's a dwarf in there, and he's saying something to him. I forgot what he even says to him. Play the game or something like that. And then Vader shadow boxing Harley. It's weird.
It is.
Finally, Vader confronts him with Harley Race, and he's like, "Well, the strap match," and then they're tugging at the strap, and there's fire. And then, how does it even end? Vader pulls Sting towards him, and it explodes. I think it gets on fire, and it snaps. And then it's like, to be continued. I don't know what was going on. It was just a strap match. I don't know what White Castle of Fear. I don't know what that was.
And then it's now it's not only a strap match, it's a lights out strap match.
Lights out strap match. It's non-sanctioned, right?
Non-sanctioned, so the title's not on the line.
Right. They had previous wrestling matches which were great. They had a great rivalry.
They definitely did.
But I'm not a big fan of strap matches particularly, and this whole setup with the White Castle, I'm like, I remember thinking, is there I was thinking about White Castle. I thought that was
are they sponsoring the event?
Right, that's what I thought. I thought there had to be some sort of a tie-in with White Castle.
No, it wasn't.
No. There was no castle too. It was like a whole. It was like a.
You had some snow, so you had the white part.
I see
snow up in the mountain, and that's it.
I see the castle over there. I guess the pilot says that, right? I don't know. Anyway, so we go to this match.
Anyway, it's Sting versus Big Van Vader in a strap match.
Yeah.
Forget all the other nonsense. Lights out, White Castle. It's a freaking strap match, people. Yeah. That's it. Non-sanctioned, no title on the line, and this match was awesome. I mean,
it was a great match.
Forget all the innuendos and all the BS. Yeah. Sting and Vader pulled out all the stops in this one. Vader got busted open.
Yeah, Vader was believable, and Sting was over as hell, man.
Oh, yes, he was.
The crowd loved Sting.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sting was carrying, in my opinion, the company when Flair left.
Yeah, no question. Yeah.
And so, I mean, this match, several times you think Sting is just out of it with all the Vader bombs and everything else he got. The match ends with Sting kicking Vader into the last turnbuckle. I'm like, oh my God. And
a little anticlimactic, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it ends. Is Vader falls into the fourth turnbuckle, and then Sting
he's a sore loser and just starts whipping him with the
well, if you're from Venice Beach, you are a sore loser.
Yeah, so.
But did you see Vader's back though? Oh my God.
We went at it. We did a good job.
I think he really told Sting, lay into me.
Right, yeah, probably.
Because obviously they have the no blading policy. So, although Harley Race was over Vader, so I don't know if he was doing something there. I don't think he was. But those hits that Sting gave him, then you could hear it. Mm-hmm. And Vader's bleeding. It's all over the ring. I mean, these guys left it all in the ring. And Vader, I believe this is the first of 3 straight main event Super Brawls he's going to do. And because he's the top heel right now in the company, it's
Vader
working.
Was great. Yeah,
he was awesome. I in WCW. I liked him, especially during the time when he fought Hogan and Flair.
Yeah,
and I don't see why Bischoff was like, I don't have anything going forward.
Big Van Vader.
And then they had to get rid of the Big Van eventually, so it was just Vader, which I always just call him Vader. I don't use the Big Van really, but overall this match was pretty good. On a card that was semi-weak. Some of these guys, again, like Super Bowl,
and they had
didn't belong.
Yeah, I agree. Then they had the Barry Windham promo, which didn't go anywhere.
No, the fans were going for the exit at this point.
Right. He gets out there, he speaks a little bit, but he doesn't really say any. He's like, that.
He's just coming for all titles.
Coming for all titles. Doesn't say really reference
to one person. He's just everybody's on the list.
I thought they would have used that to set up a match with Flair. I thought he would be like, I'm the real champion. Flair, whatever. They didn't even do that. So I don't understand why even interview him post. He's the NWA champion. We just had the WCW. That's what always bothered me too. These 2 belts, it always bothered me. That you had a WCW champion and you had the NWA champion, which eventually becomes the international champion. It's like which belt means more? Like which belt?
Well, it's kind of like when WWE had that title, and they were kind of on the same level. Although I always thought it was a little WWE was more than that. So. It could be the same way here that the WCW title.
But that was, at least
to me, it's less than the world title. Because at
least,
go ahead.
But at least that made sense in WWE because there was a brand split.
Yeah, so but here, Flair comes back, and now all of a sudden we have 2 champions. Yeah.
Eventually, they consolidate.
So Hogan gets because Hogan wanted 1 title. Yeah. Well, we have the title on Rude. Oh, I don't want to fight Rude. I want to fight Flair. And then when he wins,
Rude gets hurt anyway.
One title, 1 champion.
Yeah,
jackass.
I don't know. Anyway, this was fine.
It worked for the year that they did the 2 titles. It worked, but eventually, they had to unify them.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I think the reason why they brought it back is because, like Flair said, he's fighting for the title. I never lost.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I like that. I like that angle. Yeah. So this was fine overall. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, like I said, a couple of matches were but the main event was just phenomenal. Yeah, I liked it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you guys make sure to let us know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys soon.
Take care.